Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead. So for the last time, can you please read these rules out? For homework last night, I asked you guys to write a paragraph to explain how Juan teaches us to never give up and follow your dreams in the story. The first person I would like to read out their homework is Hannah. So, Hannah, everything I've underlined in red, really great homework. You have clearly thought about the prompt that I asked you to write. How does Juan teach us to never give up on our dreams? And you answered it perfectly well. So basically, Hannah is breaking down what happens in the story, and she's explaining to us how we can learn a lesson to never give up. So we can follow Juan's example. Juan really, really, really wanted land. It was his dream to own land. But unfortunately, when his father died, he didn't get any of that land. But he didn't give up. He went to Don Tobias and was laughed at, and then he went to Grandpa Chon and got a piece of land. Another example of Juan never giving up on his dream is that when he went into town to spread the good news of him owning some land, people told him to give up on his dream, people laughed at him, but yet he did not give up still. He kept working hard, and finally he did make his dreams come true. Well done, Hannah. Okay, Jenny, you are the next person I would like to read out their homework. Anything that is underlined, can you change it to the past tense, please?
Juan teaches the reader to never give up on their dream because he had a wish for a land like his father and grandfather. When his father died, Juan still didn't get, and because his father gave the land to his two older brothers. Still, Juan didn't give up, so he asked the richest man in town, Don Tobias, to borrow a small piece of land, but it turned out badly because Don Tobias laughed at him. Still, he didn't give up. He asked the oldest man in town, Grandpa John, the same question, and this time Grandpa John said yes, but he had a deal. If John failed,
Say for free. He must work for Grandpa Chon for free.
for free. Juan was so happy, but he was still sad because he didn't have any seeds. He went to a store and asked for seeds, but it was not easy to get free seeds, so he had to work a lot to earn seeds. When he got seeds, he started to plant and listen to the Xanatai's advice. At last, he finished a beautiful harvest. This story teaches me that we should not give up from our following our dream. Even it is hard, still we have to achieve it.
Good job. Well done, Jenny. Really, really great work. So again, Jenny has clearly thought about the prompt, and she's thought about how Juan teaches us to never give up on our dreams. And again, Jenny tells a recount of the story and picks out the most important parts that let us know why we shouldn't give up on our dreams, just like Juan. So even though Juan didn't get the land that he wanted, he didn't give up. He asked Don Tobias, and even though that turned out badly, he went to ask Grandpa Chon the same question. And he entered a deal with Grandpa Chon that if he failed, he would work for Grandpa Chon for free. So even though this is quite a big deal to put yourself in, he was so happy about this. But yet he had some land, but he didn't have any seeds. But yet he didn't give up again. He went to a store and asked, but he had to work very hard to get those seeds. And finally, when he earned the seeds, he listened to the Xanate's advice and was able to grow a wonderful harvest and make his dreams come true. Good job, Jenny. Well done. Okay, guys, so today we are going to be looking at drawing conclusions. So let's just have a look at what drawing conclusions means. Can you please read this page for me, Emma?
In conclusion, in fiction texts, authors don't always tell readers everything about the character and events in a story. Instead, readers should look for details, such as what the character says or does.
Good job. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Emma.
To draw conclusions.
Good job, Emma. Well done. So, guys, in fictional texts, authors don't always tell you everything about the characters or the events. What they want you to do is draw a conclusion about the information that they do already give. A conclusion is a smart guess based on the text you have read and the knowledge you have in your own head. Have a look. When we draw a conclusion, you can read parts from the text and you can think about what you already know. So, information that's not in the text, but information that you already have in your head. Let's have a look and see if we can draw some conclusions from these texts. Sarah is off from school. She put on her snow boots and a big jacket. She went outside to build a snowman. What season is it? Kiwi, what season do you think it is?
I think it is winter.
Good girl. Kiwi, how did you draw the conclusion that it's winter in this story?
Because she put on her snow boots and a big jacket. And then she go outside to be a snowman.
Good job. And then she went outside to build a snowman. So from the text, I can see she's putting on snow boots and a big jacket and she's building a snowman. So these clues let me know it's winter because I know when you want to put on snow boots and a big jacket and you're building a snowman, the weather is very cold. It's implying that there is snow outside. I also see that she is off from school, and I know during winter holiday, we have time off school. Good job, Kiwi. Okay, next. Steve, can you read this for me?
Today is a special day for you. She is wearing a new special dress and got many gifts. Her mom bought a cake and some candles. Why is this day special?
Good job. Okay, so I'm going to lower all hands. Click the raise your hand button if you think you can make a conclusion about this paragraph. Kwang Hai?
The day special is your birthday.
Good job, Kwang Hai, and well done to Steve and Cindy in the chat box. Kwang Hai, how do you know, or how did you make a conclusion that it's Jill's birthday?
I know because they said she wear a new special dress and got many gifts, and her mom bought a cake and some candles. That means she have a birthday, and her friends for lend Jill's a gift, and they eat a cake and blow some candles. That means Jill's birthday.
Good job. Well done, Kwang Hai. Exactly. So from the text, we have lots of clues. She's wearing a new special dress and got many gifts, and her mom bought a cake and some candles. Now, with this information, I can use knowledge from my own brain and what I know about life. I know that we can eat cake any day, but if you're eating a cake with candles in it, usually that means it's someone's birthday, because when it's someone's birthday, we put candles in a cake and we sing happy birthday and let them blow it out. We know that on your birthday, if you're lucky and have lots of friends or lots of very kind family members, you will get lots of presents on your birthday to celebrate you being born. Also, sometimes on our birthday, we get new clothes to wear if we're going to a special birthday party for ourselves. Good job. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, guys, what do you think? What kind of office is Jack going to with his mom? Sal, what do you think?
I think the hospital office.
Yeah, very good. The doctor's office. Well done. His mom is worried about him. He's got a high fever and a cough, so she's going to take him to the doctor's office to make sure that everything's okay. Sal, How did you know they were going to the doctor's office? What clues told you?
Because he have a cough.
Very good. He has a fever and a cough, and that means we're not feeling well. So I can use my own knowledge. When I'm not feeling well, and if I have a fever, I usually take myself to the doctor to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, next, let's have a look. Can you read that one for me, please, Hacker?
Joe is sitting at his desk. He raised his hand when on he said, I need help with this math problem. Who is Joe talking to?
Good job. Okay, guys, what do you think? Mickey.
I think he's speaking to his teacher.
Good girl, Mickey. Can you tell me how you know that, Mickey? How did you draw that conclusion about Joe speaking to a teacher?
I know because he raised his hand and he's called on.
Very good. Well done. The main clue here is that he is called on and he raises his hand, because at home you could be sitting at your desk, and at home you might say, I need help with this math problem. But at home, when you need to ask your parents for a question or some help, I highly doubt that you raise your hand. The reason that we raise our hand in class is because if everyone shouted out, then it would be hard to hear. But when you're at home, there is only one or two or three other people around you. So you can just simply ask your mom for help or your dad for help. Okay, last one. Can you read this for me, please? Kwang Ming.
As Julie crossed the finish line, her friends and family cheered. She felt so proud. Did Julie come first or last?
Okay, guys, what do we think? Zaling?
First,
First. How do you know that Julie came first? What are some clues that help you understand she came first?
because he felt so proud and her friend and family cheered.
Good job. Well done. I know that when I do something really well, and if I come first in something, I feel extremely proud. And another clue is that her friends and family are on the sidelines cheering her on. Good job, guys. Okay, now let's move on to using conclusions in the Harvest Birds. Okay, so what do we think about this question? Why do you think Juan's brothers got to keep their father's land, but Juan didn't? What do you guys think? Do you think it's fair that the two older brothers got some land, but Juan didn't? Teddy, what do you think?
I think it is not fair because if the father dies, the brother must share the land together with even the they have to share for the little brother too.
I agree. So I don't think it's very fair that the two older brothers got land and Juan was left with nothing. But let's try and figure out why this happened. Why do you think Juan didn't get any land? We're going to use a graphic organizer like this to make an inference or draw a conclusion. So inferences and conclusions are the same things. Have a look here. Can you please read this page for me? Okay, so let's have a think about this. What conclusions can we draw? Have a look. We're going to make a conclusion about why Juan's brothers got to keep their father's land, but Juan didn't. There are clues in there, so there are details that we can take from the text to help us draw our conclusion. What are some details we can take from the text that will help us draw the conclusion? What do you think? Hannah, can you give me one detail?
However, when his father died and the land was divided, there was enough for only his two older brothers.
Good job. So there wasn't enough land. That's one detail. There wasn't enough land to divide between all three of them. Good job, Hannah. Well done. Are there any other details we can think of that it tells us in the text? So Hannah has told me that there was only enough for the two older brothers, and she's absolutely correct. Are there any other details that let us know why Juan did not get the land? Okay, Teddy, what do you think? What's the difference between Juan and his brothers?
I think the difference between Juan and his brother is that he is the younger one, and so his knowledge is not
Yeah, good girl. So you're saying that he is the younger brother, so automatically the land would go to the older brothers because he is not as responsible and his knowledge is not as good as his older brothers. Good girl, Teddy. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to start adding some of our details to this graphic organizer. Have a look. My first detail is that the two brothers are older than Juan, and usually if there is a case in a family where land or a business is being passed down, usually it goes to the eldest son because they are supposed to have the most responsibility out of everyone else. Okay, another detail is that the land is divided, which means it's separated into parts. And our final detail is what Hannah told us. There is not enough of the land to give to all three brothers. If we divided the land into three parts, the land would be very small and too small to actually grow a good crop or a good harvest. So, with these three details, we can draw a conclusion. What conclusion can we draw from these three details? The two brothers are older than Juan, the land is divided, and there is not enough land to give to all three brothers. What answer can we come up with to say why Juan didn't receive any land? Hannah, what do you think?
I think the conclusion is the two brothers Juan didn't have a land is because the two brothers are older and there is not enough land for all three brothers.
Good job, Hannah. Well done. Awesome work. So, from these three details we took from the text, we can draw a conclusion like this. The land goes to the oldest boys, and the family's piece of land was too small to separate amongst all three of them. Okay, good job. So, because the land goes to the oldest brothers, that meant that Juan couldn't get any because the land was too small to separate amongst three of the sons. If they did divide it between all three of them, as I said before, the land would be very small and you wouldn't be able to grow a plentiful harvest on such a small piece of land. So, this is the conclusion that we draw. And when we come to this conclusion, how do we think about this being fair? Do we think it is fair now that we understand the conclusion and we understand why Juan didn't get any land? What's your opinion? Okay, Teddy, what do you think?
I think now it's fair to know that the land is too small and has been divided. So if we divide them into three other parts for the three brothers, it will don't have enough space to grow crops.
Good girl. Well done, Teddy. Now we see that it's a little bit more fair. It is sad that Juan didn't get this land, but if Juan did get the land, the three brothers would have three small pieces of land that wouldn't be able to make a good harvest. So it makes more sense to divide it between the two older brothers, make sure that they get good pieces of land and are able to grow plentiful harvest while the younger brother sets out to go to work in the town. So while it's a bit sad for Juan, it does seem fair that that's the right and fairest thing to do with the land. Good job, Hannah, for answering in the chat box. Okay, moving on. Have a look. So we've got two more conclusions that I want us to figure out, except this time we have the conclusion, and actually I want you guys to find the clues that help us make this conclusion. Can you please read this conclusion for me, Mia?
The neighbors thought of Juan as their friend.
Good. I've drawn a conclusion that the Zanate birds thought of Juan as their friend. Now, Who agrees with this conclusion? Click the raise your hand button if you agree with this conclusion that the Zanate birds thought of Juan as their friend. Only 4 students? Tweety, Hannah, Mia, and Teddy? Okay, good. Better. Now I'm seeing some people raise their hands. So we all agree that the Zanate birds thought of Juan as their friend. Now, I want you guys to help me figure out 3 clues from the text that let you know that the birds thought of Juan as their friends. Have a look over here. There was one bird who cared very much for Juan and wanted him to find his way in life. This bird was always around Juan, resting on his shoulder or riding on his hat. Juan named him Grajo, or crow, because Zanates have black feathers. Days passed, and the tiny plants began to appear. Little shoots of weeds came up along with them. The Zanates told Juan not to throw the weeds away, as the other farmers did. Plant them on the borders of your land, said the birds. So there are 2 details on this picture, or on this page, sorry, and there is 1 detail on this picture. What do you think the details from the text are that we can use to make the conclusion that the birds thought of Juan as their friend? Kwang Ming, can you give me 1 detail, please?
One detail of this of page 282. I think it is there was one bird who cared very much for Juan and wanted him to find his way in life.
Awesome. Well done, Kwang Ming. So there was one bird who cared a lot about him. So I'm going to add that to my graphic organizer. One bird cared very much for Juan. Okay, back to it. There's another detail in this or on this page that lets us know that the birds thought of him as their friend. Can anyone tell me what they think the other detail might be? Tweety, what do you think?
It is the bird was always around Juan, resting on his shoulders or riding on his hat.
Good girl, well done. So we can add that to our graphic organizer too. Kwang Ming told me that one bird cared very much for Juan. Tui Tui told me that one bird is always around Juan. Okay, what do we think the last detail might be? Over here on this page. There's one detail on this page that helped me draw the conclusion that the birds thought of Juan as their friend. What do you think? I'm going to choose Ming Huang. Ming Huang, what do you think the detail is on this page that lets you know that the birds think of Juan as their friend?
The Zanate told them not to throw the weed away.
Good job, well done. Now let's add that to our graphic organizer. So the Zanate's birds thought of Juan as their friend, and I made this conclusion using these 3 details. One bird cared very much for him, one bird was always around him, and the birds gave him advice. If you care very much about someone, you're always around them, and you give them advice, it means that you think of that person as your friend. If you're always around them and caring for them and giving them advice, that is someone that you care for and want to be your friend. Okay, last one. Juan is a hard worker. I want you guys to tell me using these pages what you think the details are. So I've got 3 pages here. After sitting and thinking for a long time, Juan decided to visit the oldest man of the town, Grandpa Chon. He'll give me some advice and maybe he'll even help me. Juan greeted the old man, whom everyone called Grandpa Chon, with respect. The old man seemed to be in a good mood, so Juan dared to ask him for a piece of land. Let me prove to you that I can be a good farmer and make things grow, he begged. On this page, we learn that Juan runs into town shouting out his good news, but instead of being happy for him, people are laughing at him and telling him to give up and that he'll never, ever make things grow, not even weeds. And on this page, we learn that Juan needs seeds and he goes to a shop and asks for some seeds, but the shop owner says, you can sweep up the corn, take them to my pigs, and then if you want, you can take some of the leftover seeds. So what do you guys think? What are some clues to help you know that Juan is a hard worker? Jenny, what do you think? What happens on this page that shows you Juan is a hard worker?
Please beg, let me prove to you that I can be a good farmer and make things grow.
Good job. Well done, Jenny. He goes to Grandpa Chon and begs for land. So he begged for land. Even though he had asked for land from Don Tobias, he goes to the oldest man and he begs. He's clearly not giving up. Okay, on this page, what clue can we find that shows that Juan is a hard worker? I'm going to go with Hannah. Hannah, what do you think?
I think when the people said Tom need to give up on his dreams, he didn't, and he still tries to make his dream come true.
Good girl, Hannah. Well done. On this page, we learn that even despite people laughing in his face and telling him to give up, he does not listen to them. He kept working and trying even when people made fun of him. And let's have a look at the last page. What clue can we find on this page that lets you know that Juan is a hard worker? Good girl, Hannah. Your hand has actually been up for every single question, so really good job today. The rest of you, have a think about it. Okay, Ocean, what do you think?
I think he took the seed while the pig playing it.
Good job, well done. So even though he didn't have any seeds, he didn't give up. He actually went out to work even harder to get some more seeds. So my clue of he begged for land, he kept working and trying even when people made fun of him, and he worked to get seeds even when he didn't have any money. All of these clues added together make me draw the conclusion that Juan is a hard worker indeed. Okay, guys, really good job on your lesson today. That is the end of our lesson. Today, we don't have any homework because it's time for your summer holidays. So, guys, there's no homework today, and I won't be seeing you guys. I'm not entirely sure when. I'm not sure if we will be working online, but I will see you after your summer holiday. Hope you all stay very safe and have a really lovely time. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.